Hey everybody, we're live from the bunker in beautiful
We're live from the neck up.
Warsaw. No,
not live from the neck down?
Who? Live? Yes. That's my guest. I haven't introduced him yet, but he's already interrupting me, but that's okay.
Right. Well, I do that.
It's the first podcast, and we know each other well. He's a good friend of mine, Danny Stewart.
Hello.
Anyway, live from the bunker, here we are. I hope everybody's having a great day. We're doing the best we can. It's a windy May day here in Central Europe. Yes. The cradle of civilization after Iraq. And you see what they did to that.
Yeah, rocked.
So Danny, what have you been up to lately?
What have I been up to?
The last time I talked to you, you were over attacking people with your martial arts.
I do that. I do attack people. I really have a great affection for people, so much that I love to hurt them. And I love to teach them how to hurt other people.
Nah, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean,
well,
what you mean is you teach them self-defense.
Well, I do. I teach them self-defense. Yeah.
What is Wing Chun all about?
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun. Thank you.
Wing Chun. Yeah. Wing Chun is.
My Chinese is not what it should be. But I have a good joke about a Chinese. No, mind.
Oh no! Well, we heard already a joke about Chinese, but.
You've heard that earlier today.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you reading my mind? It's the same joke.
I think so. No, Wing Chun is Chinese martial art developed by women to beat a larger, heavier, bigger attacker.
It was developed by women?
It was developed by women.
Like an Amazon thing?
No,
Chinese Amazons?
No, actually, it's funny because it was the story was about a young woman who sold tofu. And I don't know, maybe just the fact that she sold tofu made people want to attack her. But
well, it could be. They were, But people who like to eat a chicken.
Local warlord said, "Hey, you're going to marry me, bitch," and she said, "No, only if you can beat me up." And so she went and learned a bit of kung fu and kicked the guy's butt. Didn't marry the warlord like she hoped she didn't have to, and then she started teaching. And 7, 8, 9 generations later, it finally trickled down to me, and I've been learning it for a number of years now.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it. I know you are. You were recently in Budapest for a thing, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Budapest.
Contest.
It was not a
exhibition,
contest. It was in fact a celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Eastern European Wing Chun organization, and we had our founder from Hong Kong, Sifu, or I should say Sijo Leung Ting, who I don't know if you've ever seen the film Ip Man.
I'm not sure. I've seen a lot
famous,
of the kung fu.
Very famous kung fu movie lately. Ip Man, yeah. He was his last student.
That was Mike, our producer. Just piped in there, folks. We'll be
this
going to Mike later.
This was, in fact, the teacher who taught Bruce Lee kung fu. After Bruce Lee came to the United States, Ip Man continued to teach in Hong Kong, and his last student was my grandmaster.
And how do you say Ip Man?
Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Is that correct?
Yeah, Ip Man.
Yeah, good. And so you went down there and did.
I went down there. It was a great.
Anybody get hurt? Or?
Actually, somebody did get hurt.
Well, but they fell down drunk.
No. During we had first a 2-day seminar with over 350 people from Hungary, Poland, the Baltic countries, and Croatia, as well as Romania. And me, I was the token American in the whole place.
What does that mean? You were
there's no other
to say you were the token.
There are no other.
There are no British.
No Brits.
West Germans. No. Germans.
No, we did have one. We did have one German, Hungarian, Polish guy. Yeah. But yeah, 2-day seminar, and then on the final day we had a big celebration at the airport. We closed off. We took over one whole part of the airport.
And what happened with that?
And during the demonstrations, which we had, one guy received an elbow to the head, which put him out cold in the middle of the big show.
It was unintentional.
It was unintentional,
yeah.
and it was, it was, they had to carry him off the stage. And there was a bit of concern, like going, "Oh, geez, did somebody really, you know?" Yeah.
But Danny, I've always, it's interesting, if I could interrupt you,
Mhm.
that I've always thought of you as a very masculine man. A man like Luca Brasi in The Godfather. A man
Hey.
who would never let somebody put a knife through his hand on the bar even. But
Well, you know, I do have a lot of body hair.
exactly. Well, I mean, her suit goes without saying, but
Yeah.
people can't see that.
Well, I'm not going to show you right
radio.
now.
No, well, don't show me right now.
Maybe later.
Yeah, please, later, when I'm off the air.
Yeah.
When we're off the air. But being a sort of very masculine man,
Mm-hmm.
why did you learn a martial art invented by ladies?
Actually, I didn't know it was invented by ladies at first. I started off a long, long time ago learning first kickboxing, judo. I learned a bit of kenpo from a guy from the Australian SAS. Later, I learned a bit of karate from a cocaine dealer in Denver who was Chuck Norris's sparring partner.
Wow, a cocaine dealer.
A cocaine dealer who was Chuck Norris's. I shit you not. I shit you not. Yeah.
I believe you. It's like probably you needed to take cocaine to keep up with him because you had a good fight with Bruce Lee, didn't you?
In
the movie.
Yeah.
What was that movie called?
That was
Enter the Dragon? Or?
No.
The other one.
Not Fists of Fury. I can't remember now.
I think it was called Bruce Lee Kicks Ass.
Yeah, he did that. You know. So no, I came to Poland. I started doing some other kung fu. I did Tai Chi for a while, and then.
But you're not Polish.
And I'm not Polish. No.
No, you're from.
I'm originally from California.
From San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah. North California.
Yeah. Well, we know where San Francisco.
Yeah, well, we say
everyone knows San Francisco is like the most
no,
famous city in the world.
But everybody in Northern California, we say comes from the city, but they're not really from the city.
Oh, I got you.
They're from the surrounding areas, which abound there.
Way of the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon.
That's our producer Mike helping us. Way of the Dragon.
Way of the
That's
Dragon.
the film. Yeah.
1972.
1972.
Yeah, that's the film with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Where Chuck Norris gets
amazing fight.
Chuck Norris gets a very impromptu.
He's like the only guy who ever almost beat Bruce Lee.
Impromptu, removal of hair, which
they snatched his hair off.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was just a wig. I always suspected that. Yeah.
It was a chest merkin, I think.
A chest merkin. What is a merkin? You confused me. I was like,
oh, come on, you know what a merkin is.
No, I don't.
Everybody, merkin is a pubic wig.
Do you wear one of those?
No, well, on occasion, yeah.
That's interesting. A merkin. Okay, that's a new word for me. I got to put that in my lexicon of words I didn't know.
It's not. Merkin is right there.
Now, merkin is a pubic wig. That's a wig that you use. Why would you use that?
Well, back in the 17th and 16th century, in England, people shaved all of their body hair off because of little infestations of...
You mean lice?
Those things, yeah.
Bed bugs.
Bed bugs, yeah. Seafood.
You mean crabs?
Exactly.
They're eating crabs.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that in Las Vegas they don't have so much problem since women started shaving it all off down there.
I've heard that, yeah, but... I don't believe it.
It's true. I haven't been in Las Vegas for a while. Last time I was there, I only had 2 or 3 whores, but it was a while ago.
I was,
we call them whores because we're straight up.
Yeah, well.
Some people call them nice ladies, but
I usually think they are nice.
Ladies of convenience.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with an honest job. No. And so, what do you practice? This the wing. You do tournaments and things. What belt are you in this?
I just passed my 2nd master level.
Yeah, so you're way up there.
So they say equivalent of like about a 3rd degree black belt. But,
I wanted to disclose that because we're not just talking to somebody here who's an amateur. You're a very serious martial artist. I know.
I am serious about it, really.
Obviously,
because. It's not that I want to hurt anybody. It's not that I, like to do damage to people. But I do believe that there are a lot of benefits which come from that.
You don't have to. Martial arts. The whole point is to avoid conflict, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And unless you're fighting,
I've successfully done that mostly because I don't want to hurt somebody, and I know somebody can also hurt me as equally as much as I could hurt them. So what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're going, but you have tournaments and anything else.
We don't really have competitions.
Have you ever been seriously injured doing this?
Yeah.
What happened? Give us an account of your various injuries.
I've been damaged so many times that after after Budapest, after the last training, doing my test for my master level, I actually felt like a purple leopard. I was bruised so much on my legs and arms and hurt all over.
Aren't you supposed to hurt the other person?
Oh, I gave out as good as I got.
Okay, all right. So you're all bruised. Now, what is Wing Chun? Wing Chun is like Kung Fu, or what's it like?
It is Kung Fu. It is
a variation of Kung Fu?
It is one of the 300-something different styles of Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm. 300 styles?
There are over 300 styles of Kung Fu, yeah.
Wow, that's Chinese, isn't it?
Wing
have
Chun.
lots of everything. Yeah.
Well, everybody's got their own, family style. It's like, I've got, in fact, a lot of the styles are named after the family. Where does it come from? And you learn it from your dad and your grandfather and so on and so on.
It's good we're going on the Eastern theme here, because I have a very funny email.
Okay, go ahead.
That was, a friend of mine passed this on to me, and the story is that his brother was living in Hong Kong, right? And he was going to marry a lady from North Korea. He's an Englishman.
Uh-huh.
He went to places like Eton and Cambridge or Oxford or something like that. One of those guys. Mm-hmm. And he was going to marry this South Korean lady. Obviously South Korean.
South Korean, yeah.
North Koreans, like white people. We know that. And the thing was that he had never met her mother.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is she wrote this. She wrote this email to him,
Mm-hmm.
saying it was at Christmas time. He was in England with his family,
mm-hmm.
and she was over there in where did I say Korea? Yeah. He's from Hong Kong. She was in Korea.
Okay,
yeah.
she was in Korea.
Yeah, I believe it was Korea. Yeah,
right.
It could have been Taiwan.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think it was Korea. Anyway, and she sent this. His name is. Well, we won't say his name.
Okay.
Because this is personal.
Mr. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's priceless.
Okay.
This is
read on.
I mean, maybe she should have studied Wing. Maybe she knew
Wing Chun.
Yeah. And she was going to kick his ass. But anyway, this is what she wrote to him. Merry Christmas. Please send my love and regards to all your family and lots of love back from mine. That sounds like a...
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
She's very nice.
Perfect
very,
English.
very,
Perfect English.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's a good opener, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
I hope you're having a nice time back home. That would be in England.
Okay.
And she's back home in...
South Korea.
Yeah, Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably... What's the capital of Korea?
Seoul.
Yeah.
Seoul.
Seoul.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Pyongyang for...
that's the other one, yeah. That's the guy with the funny haircut.
And the tiger, yeah.
Yeah. Hope you're having a nice time back home. When coming to Thailand, here are some things to note in preparation for meeting my mother.
Oh, okay.
Now, you've been married.
I have been a few times, yeah.
You didn't meet the mother-in-law. It's not
actually my first wife's mother. My first mother-in-law was in fact Chinese.
Well, see, this is like a.
So I'm very.
You didn't know I was going to pull this out. It's a metaphysical combination.
It's a fucking deja vu for me.
It's
all over again.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number one of the things to do when you meet the mother.
Mm-hmm.
This is number one. Please buy my mom a gestural gift. Gestural, it's in quotations.
I think she means
gestural
gift. Yeah.
Is that a word? Gestural?
I gestured quite a lot at my mother-in-law, but that was only from a safe distance.
Please buy my mom a gestural Xmas gift. Ideally, something to display at the home. Something to display.
So she can show it off and say, "Oh, look what my favorite new future, son-in-law or son-in-law's
Of
Just
course.
pop
Yeah,
them.
just he's from a decent family.
Yeah, so.
He went to Eton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of those other places.
Your
St.
grandfather's
Andrews or
clock.
what I say. Some university.
Eton, Cambridge, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something
One
like
of those places in England. They're famous for turning out people, with bad manners. She likes the royal family and teapots.
And teapots.
For example.
So a commemorative teapot would be right.
There's lots of those. Or maybe she meant a mug. Because the Queen's mug is on a lot of mugs.
Oh, it's on a lot of mugs, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, you've ended up Piccadilly Circus. Anything English, basically. So best to get it from the UK.
Oh.
Because that's where he is.
Okay.
Since it's English, it should be from the UK.
I think a set of pint glasses would be appropriate.
But nothing too expensive.
Okay, there. Well, see, you can steal. You can nick the pint glasses from down the pub.
With it, not with a picture of the royal family, though. Because it has to have the royal family.
Well,
You can get that in a pub.
depending
you have to go to
depending
a
on
royal pub.
depending on which
Yeah,
pub you
Windsor
go to.
Castle, there's probably a pub. Lots
You think
of pictures
so?
of the Queen.
You think
I
there's?
there is.
I think there probably is.
I've always thought there was.
Yeah.
It might not be.
Down in the basement someplace.
I prefer to believe
Yeah.
there is a pub in the Windsor Castle
Mhm.
with a royal family guest, and they all have a drink, and get really sloshed. Anyway, it should be something she can show to her friends and say, quotations,
Mm-hmm.
"Look what someone close to me bought for me for Christmas."
Oh.
End of quotes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
This is important to Koreans. But she is from Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Not China, as your first wife.
I guess a vibrator wouldn't have been appropriate.
Only if the Queen's picture was on. Okay. We also like to receive cards, so please write a Christmas card. Ideally, this should say slightly more than just Merry Christmas.
Mm.
She didn't give any hints. So
Maybe name as Merry Christmas, Mom.
Yeah, it should say more than Merry Christmas. I'm quoting now. So dig deep. Like he has no imagination. Deep. Yeah, you got to dig deep to please my mother.
I always thought, about my mother-in-law, about digging deep. Usually the backyard, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we can't really. That's dark. That's dark. I know what you mean. But she goes further.
Okay, go further.
She says, "Biggish letters, please."
Oh.
Make biggish letters. So you have to write, like a big poster or something. She thinks small handwriting is a sign of lack of ambition.
Oh.
Which my mom used to tell me.
Oh, really?
No, as a kid, she said, "Write big. Think big. Write big." It's the same thing.
Yeah, well.
No, right.
Bold letters.
Thinking big and writing big is exactly the same.
Have a dash to your handwriting.
Yeah,
and most importantly, be able to do it with both hands.
Yeah, none of that. Yeah, exactly. And what's that? There's a word for that. I don't know what it is.
To be ambidextrous.
There you are. I need to know. Yeah, and you're a literate man.
I am illiterate. Illiterate.
You're illiterate. Alliterative.
I will alliterate as much as I can.
Okay. Anyway, Rose often gets told off for that. That's her.
Her daughter.
Sorry, Ross. Ross.
Oh, Ross.
That's her brother.
Uh-huh.
He often gets. I don't know why she has a brother named Ross if she's Korean, but I don't know. There's
Ross.
assimilation. Yeah.
Who Ross? Yeah.
Can't even think of a movie star named Ross. Can you? Not really. It's actually, if you want to be a movie star, it's a good name.
Ross,
it's Untaken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can be Ross.
No, the Wild Wild West.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Ah, Wild Wild West. Who was a guy?
Yeah.
Who was in that?
Will
Robert
Smith.
Conrad.
Will Smith.
That's our producer,
That's it.
Will Smith. Now we're talking about
we're going back.
The original.
Yeah.
because we're Americans, yeah. And our
Oh,
producer,
what was
our
his
producer
generation?
Mike is an
Yeah.
Irish guy. He's an Irish guy. We forgive him for that. It's okay. And he forgives us for being American.
Sacrilege.
Yeah. Both of us forgive him. But it was the original Wild Wild West TV show.
Yeah.
Robert Conrad and Ross
Martin.
Martin.
We have it from the
we have this from one of our audience members. Why is there an audience member? He's actually our bouncer. Yeah. Yeah, in case anybody rushes the bunker.
I'm just hoping he doesn't
And he has
bounce me.
Now, have you checked? Have you checked the weapons closet? Make sure that we're well defended here. All right. So anyway, her brother often gets told off for having small handwriting.
Uh-huh.
So you can, I don't know.
So,
Yeah, obviously,
got
you could
small
never be a
hands.
monk
Yeah.
because they're known for their neat small handwriting. Anyway, number 2. Please make sure you always address my mom as Uma.
Uma.
And never by her name.
Oh, okay.
Which might explain why she wants
She
pictures
looks like
of the royal
Uma Thurman?
family. Not Uma Thurman, well, maybe. That's what I thought at first, but no,
No,
I think
Uma.
it's deeper than that. It's
Uma
deeper than that.
is.
No, she wants. I don't know what.
Go ahead. I thought.
No, I just say that I think that
Uma's a sign of respect. Yes.
but never by her name.
But never.
No,
by
I think
her name.
Uma is like Mama. Isn't
Yeah, it's Mama. Yeah,
it? Isn't it?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, I didn't. We'll have to clarify that with a clairvoyant. But the thing is that she said never call her by her name.
No, that's no, because that's too
Is that-
familiar. Too familiar.
Is that China too? Is like
Yeah, well, no, it's a sign. Yeah, it's actually the sign of respect for like the where you stand in the hierarchy.
yeah, because they're all about the
Yeah,
ancient
yeah,
relatives
so-
and the old
so
people
you even in kung fu we have names for everybody. Sifu is like father. How you call your instructor. You call the people that you are your respected colleagues. Sihing, which means brother, your older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And you call the peons Todai, which is student. You're
You're a student, but you're a sensei in that case. Right?
no,
Not the word?
I'm still Sihing.
But if you're teaching, you're a sensei, right? The head guy's a sensei.
If you teach,
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think that
No,
I saw it in a movie.
Yeah, well, if you teach, you can either be Sihing or Sifu. Sifu is like father teacher.
Yeah.
Sihing is older brother, and some very often, the instructor will say, "Okay, well, you need to learn this. You over there, teach him that."
All right. Well, okay. There you go. She gives her number in Thailand.
Mm.
Says, please call me when you are back
Thailand
in
or
Singapore.
Taiwan?
She gives her number in Thailand.
Thailand, okay.
She's
but
from
we're
Thailand,
talking about
but she's Korean.
we're
She's
talking
in
about when
Thailand.
she's
It's very
talking
confusing.
about going to Korea.
He's English. He works in Hong
Yeah.
Kong. They're getting married, and
I remember a film like this. I
and
think.
she's Korean, and she's in Thailand, and they're going to get married.
When did they
and,
start fighting?
No, there's a place to get married somewhere over there. One of those eastern countries. You know?
Indonesia.
No, it wasn't that one. There's one of them. There's another. There's a few others. I think there's a lot of people over there. No, it was.
There are a few.
I know what it was. It was Shangri-La. No, Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Shangri-La is not a real country.
Ceylon.
That's not a real country. Shangri-La. It's not real. Okay. Number 4.
Number 4. Okay, we're up to 4 now.
Yeah. The last point is probably the most important.
Okay, Uma.
Along the course of your stay, even if it seems you're really connecting, you should know that there are certain inconsistencies about my mother.
Okay.
It's going a little bit psycho here, isn't it? Like the
Okay,
movie.
right, yeah.
That nobody will ever understand. Including Sigmund Freud.
All right. I'm nervous now.
He's not around, but if he was.
Go on.
At no point should you smoke in front of her.
Oh, not good, yeah.
Sometimes you light up without even being conscious you're doing it.
Uh-oh.
No, he's a guy like the
Not
chain
unless,
smoker. The chain addict. Sounds like an addict.
Not unless you give Uma first a whole carton of cigarettes. Would I even
you have
attempt
to
that?
give her a bunch first,
Yeah.
and then she's out.
Well, actually, the fact is that giving a carton of cigarettes, at least in China, I'm not sure about how it is in Korea. Giving a carton of cigarettes is a very common gift, and you don't smoke them. You actually.
Well, you
wait for the next person that you need to impress.
You put them and say that was a Christmas present.
No, you give it to someone else.
There's a picture of the Queen on it.
Here's a carton of Marlboro. Thank you for your patronage. Yeah.
Really, in China?
Oh, yeah.
I never been to China. Yeah. I was only. I was in Chinatown.
Oh, I've been to Chinatown.
Yeah,
I'll show you the
Chinatown.
I'll show you
it's
the
not
tattoo
the
I
same.
got there.
Which one?
I was in China. That's Mike. Mike, who rang your bell. No, that's all right. Now, Mike's coming in. Yeah. Which one? China? I've been to a few of them. I'm an experienced traveler.
London?
Of China.
No,
I was in London.
Yeah, doesn't hold a candle.
I was in the Washington, D.C. one. They have a Chinatown.
I've never been there.
They don't really have one in L.A., but they have a...
the Koreatown in L.A.
Koreatown, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Which fits more with us. But not in Chinatown.
We had,
I know a thing about the Chinese.
Beautiful Chinatown.
I like
in
their
San Francisco.
firecrackers.
We got a China and a Japantown in San Francisco.
You had Japantown?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds racist.
No.
Japan? You call it Japantown?
Japantown.
Why not just call it Japtown and be done with it?
No, then you get beat up with that.
Really? No, you call it. They call
no,
it.
No, actually, there is a Japantown. It's a whole cultural center that's been. It's like a shopping mall almost, actually.
That sounds more like the one in Washington. Yeah. The Chinatown.
And
not Japantown.
Yeah,
China.
but the Japanese.
It's like shopping area.
Japanese are very organized, and they've got a great.
I heard about
cultural.
They didn't do so well in the last war, though.
Yeah.
They didn't do so well in that war.
Well, up until the end, no.
Up until the end?
Up until the end, yeah.
Up until the end?
Yeah. And that sank.
Should I continue with this?
Go ahead.
We're almost there.
That was 4. There's nothing more. 5.
Well, no. There's 4. 4 continues.
4 continues.
Now let me read the beginning of it. The last point is probably the most important. Along the course of your stay, even if it seems you're really connecting, you should know there are certain inconsistencies about my mother that nobody will ever understand.
Okay, she doesn't know what her mom's doing.
Her mom is crazy.
Well,
that's what that means. So watch out for my mom.
She's, when she's off her meds.
Yeah, exactly. At no point should you smoke, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes you light up. We had that. So please watch out for that. I know you think, especially after Ross, he's a bad guy. Yeah. Ross, we heard about him before.
We heard about him, yeah.
He's a reprobate. He's terrible. He's her brother. What a horrible guy.
Yeah, he's,
smoking in front of his mom. Lighting up without asking permission.
Yeah.
Not having a mug with a Queen's picture on it. Yeah. You know best. But please trust me on this one. It's a cultural thing.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, for me, please try and respect that. I think this woman thinks he has a tobacco addiction problem.
Makes
me want to smoke. I don't know. What do you think? Does this sound culturally similar to things you know about?
Yeah, not only culturally, just like I think
mothers-in-law.
Mother-in-laws in general.
Really? They're just dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not always. I've had a few mother-in-laws that were quite good.
How many have you had?
Well, my own or others?
I'm not saying how many have you had sexual congress with. How many have you been related to through marriage?
How many mothers have you had?
I think it was a fairly straightforward question. My God. Gone too far now.
Well, no, but seriously.
No, exactly. I asked you a serious question. I shall wait till hell freezes over for my answer from you, Ambassador.
Get him a jacket.
So what's the answer?
Get him a jacket.
Now, how many real mother-in-laws have you had?
How many real mother-in-laws?
No, you brought it up, not me. I didn't ask you to give your whole marital history. I want to know about the divorces and everything.
No, I'm going to take the 5th right there.
You're going to take the Fifth Amendment?
A 5th.
You want to drink a 5th?
Either.
What are you saying to me?
Either way, it's about.
Hey, Mike, can you get that 5th out for him, please?
Yeah,
5th waiting for him. Yeah.
Sure, no problem.
All right, thank you very much. The 5th is coming out.
Okay. No,
nothing is too good for you.
Mother-in-laws, I think.
Please don't hurt us.
Don't mess with the mom-in-law.
Don't hurt us. Jeremy, keep your eye on this guy.
Got it.
Don't mess with the mother-in-law. Be nice. Don't smoke.
All right. Well, apparently, the guy's a total an addict.
Yeah. Well,
something disgusting. A drug-taking.
I don't understand that.
A filthy drug-taking bastard. Yeah. Apparently.
I don't smoke, and I think people who do smoke are disgusting.
Nah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, just having a smoke there. Sorry about that. I hope this note does not fill you with too much dread. How much is too much?
Just too
About
much
coming over, yeah.
dread. Ah.
But it's just a couple of days, and I'm sure for the most part we'll be fine. We look forward to having you.
Uh-oh. That
Sounds
sounds
odd.
That sounds a bit...
Sounds like
Yeah,
mom could be
questionable.
interested in a little sexual.
Okay. And a little menage a trois.
Maybe
Yeah.
share this young buck.
Yeah, young,
This,
a young
this
smoke,
stout young Englishman.
a smoking buck.
Stout. That's a good. word.
Stout.
Stout young Englishman. Take care and see you soon. I love the last line. The last line is the best. Please kindly acknowledge receipt of this email.
RSVP.
It's like you couldn't set this up. This is a real email, man.
And where you know.
I know his brother,
yeah,
not the guy in
you
question.
You know Ross.
No, I don't know Ross.
Oh,
I know
the guy-
Ross is her brother.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, oh.
Now, this is a friend of mine's brother who was going to marry this lady who sent the email to him. And,
Oh, really?
you know, it sounds like a Fugazi for me. You know, just saying. Sounds pretty crazy, eh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
Looks
you can
good,
get that.
yeah.
Anyway.
Looks good on paper when you hear it. It makes me fucking.
No, the
bust
last
on
line
that.
is the best. Please kindly
Please kindly
acknowledge
Please
receipt.
do.
of
Yes,
this email.
I understand.
Okay, what do you think? Let me ask you to be Nostradamus for a second here.
Mm.
Okay, can you do that?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, are you get into your Nostradamus?
I'm trying to get in
Yeah?
my.
Can you do
yeah,
that?
I'm
Okay,
Nostradamus.
here's the question for you.
All right.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you think happened to this prospective marriage?
What do I think happened to this
Mm-hmm.
perspective? Because they weren't married up to this point, or no?
No, they were just planning a big wedding
just
in
planning.
Sri Lanka,
In Sri Lanka. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
which is somewhere out there,
Ooh.
probably near India.
I'm not really sure. What could have happened like that, because I have a feeling that From
Well,
her,
let me ask you a question.
but from her
Okay.
trepidation
Yeah. All right.
about his habits and his able to control
His
himself.
horrible smoking addiction.
Smoking addiction.
His fiendishness. Probably
Yeah.
he's a drinker too.
Well, I would certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I feel that she has not much confidence, not much trust in how he's able to control his wild, unfathomable passions.
Good Lord, what does unfathomable mean?
I just can't understand how people smoke.
You mean unfathomable is like
yeah.
This is a big word.
Yeah. Well, I'm
It means like
I don't understand.
I don't understand what it means.
Yeah. What does
Does
that
it mean? Like,
It's unfathomable.
what? What do you say?
It's unfathomable.
But what does it mean? It's like fathoms. I know those are underwater.
It's like, I'll explain.
You
it
gotta
to
go down a few fathoms.
you
Yeah.
later.
You have a thing on your, like a sea monster, a
A sea
costume.
monster, yeah.
And you have a thing, and you go
A
down.
fathom is what, about 6?
You got on some
It's about
feet.
6 feet something.
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a diving
It's a
term,
dive.
right?
Yeah, as well.
So does it mean
It's
like
a distance. Yeah.
it's like you
How
can't
many
dive that
fathoms?
far?
Well, I think we're gonna dive a lot lower than that.
Okay, we'll figure out.
But I
we
think,
can look it up.
But
We
I
can
think
look it up. we
you
have
know,
the internet.
But I think in,
Do you know
in
about
case,
the internet?
Yeah, I've heard rumor about
Good
that.
stuff. Yeah.
But I think that in fact she's not really trustful of him if she has to really enunciate and be quite explicit about these things. I would have thought that he should know about such kind of cultural differences, or at least some kind of.
So you're taking this seriously?
Yeah.
But what do you think happened with the marriage? You think that
Well, I think he completely fucked it up.
you think he fucked it up?
Now
Now wait a second, because this broad's way out of line in my opinion.
Oh, you think she's out of line?
Oh, absolutely. I don't care what her mother likes, a queen or not. But this is bridge too far. Let's be honest. Yeah, this is like
I don't agree.
this is
I
like
think,
snobbery on a nuclear scale, isn't it?
Nah, it's not snobbery. It's cultural difference.
It's not.
No,
Is
yeah.
there a cultural difference? It
Sure.
sounds like snobbery to me. Please give me a gift I can display so everybody can see it and ask me where I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like giving a rifle to a witch doctor in the Amazon. Isn't it? What are you talking about? It doesn't make any
But
sense.
that's
a friend of
the
mine
thing.
did that.
That's
That's
yeah.
fine.
Give a
A friend
rifle
of mine
to a
did
witch
do
doctor.
that. He
Yeah?
gave a rifle to. Well, actually, the witch doctor took it when he was asleep.
Oh, but that's not the same.
No, well, but he kind of gave it to him for a short time. Then he got it back.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's a different story. I don't know. I was trying to get a report from Cannes from the film festival, but our correspondent Nesta Morgan is not online.
No, he's
She's there. She's knows everybody.
She's probably
And Cannes, we'll get a report from her next time, but she's not online. I thought she might
bumping
be.
elbows or rubbing elbows or fondling
No,
elbows.
she's there. She
with
knows
the
all
rich and
these.
famous.
She has that big fat guy who makes all those films. What's his name?
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she knows him. Harvey Weinstein. He's a pretty
Fondling
famous
his
guy.
elbows is.
Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a big guy. Yeah, he's like Jeremy.
Mm.
Yeah, not as big as Jeremy. Jeremy's like 6. Did you?
Yeah.
Get a look at Jeremy at
Yes.
the door?
Mm-hmm.
He's like 6'6",
Mm-hmm.
and weighs I don't even want to think about it, but he could crush your head like a pip.
You know, he makes Shrek look like this kind of green guy that's
No,
an
Shrek is a small guy.
anemic Hulk.
He can take one of those garlic things. What are those called? Those things of garlic.
Clove.
Clove of garlic, and squeeze it between his fingers.
I
Put it
can.
right into your spaghetti.
I can too.
In fact, I have him do it
usually
often.
shoots out, across the room,
No,
hits
he's
somebody
a-
in the eye, and
And he's an attractive man. He's handsome.
Another perk of Wing Chun.
Mm. No,
Pew! Ding, ding,
he puts it under his arm and just with the other smells. But the Jeremy's an attractive man. He's a very he's got a lot of hair. That's the thing I like about him. Yeah, like a huge mop on his head.
hairsuit guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying that I want to have sex with him, but I think he's an attractive man. I mean, looking at men, he seems attractive. I mean, if I were a woman or Bruce Jenner, sorry.
Yeah. Bruce Gender.
Not Bruce Jenner, Bruce Jenner. That was, I misspoke. It was Freudian. It was a Freudian
How
fall.
would you say that in Japanese?
No, it was a Freudian trip.
Bruce Gender.
Freudian trip. I think that's the word, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so you
I
feel
want
like,
to have a date with Bruce.
Balus?
Bruce.
Who is that?
Bruce Jenner. Jenner.
What do you? Are you doing like
The
a
Japanese.
You doing like a Chinese accent?
No.
that
that's
wasn't
like-
very.
no.
That wasn't very good. Not really. But, okay, but you can try again. Try again.
Lip
Go
my
ahead.
stocking.
Lip
My stocking.
You cannot do Chinese.
No, I saw Japanese.
You do not make the face. All I can make face to do Chinese. Must look Chinese and feel Chinese. Okay, I brought some books for you, by the way. We'll talk about movies.
Okay.
Since we don't have Nesta
Damn.
Morgan, our correspondent at the Cannes Film Festival.
She's off.
So she's there. She's there.
fondling
She's there.
elbows with the rich and famous.
No, we're gonna get her. We'll put some of it in.
Okay. We'll dub it.
We'll patch it in,
Okay.
or whatever the editors do. They have
Wait.
their
Okay.
sneaky
No.
ways.
Okay. We got. Wait.
What?
Oh, it was nice talking to her. We'll dub
yeah,
that in.
yeah,
We'll dub that in.
exactly,
there.
Ah, thank you, Nesta.
Okay,
very
Nesta,
much. That was
great to hear from you.
That was exciting. How's Harvey?
Okay, good.
All right, you told us. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
On to the books.
Now I got some books here. We're going to talk about movies in a second. You know? We're going to rate the worst movies of the last 12 months, right?
Oh, I don't watch movies very much, so
That's okay.
good.
You've seen enough.
All
You're
right.
being
I
shy.
do that.
You're being shy. Just don't be shy. I happen to have all these Bruce Lee books here.
Okay.
I have Bruce Lee, The Fighting Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's no the. It's just Fighting Spirit.
Yeah.
I'll show that up so the audience can see
Okay.
it.
See.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Bruce
we can
Lee,
see that.
the Fighting Spirit. And there's a picture of Bruce Lee on the cover. Man, that guy had abs, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
That guy had abs.
Mm.
I mean,
He
people
had
talk about abs.
He had all kinds of muscles that I've yet to
this is
discover.
incredible. He used to do like 5,000 push-ups a day.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh.
Not,
Jesus.
I don't know if he did that many, but he did a lot.
I haven't done 5,000 push-ups in my whole fucking
and
lifetime.
he only ate once a week, apparently.
Well, that's
Just a ham sandwich.
yeah.
That was all.
A ham sandwich.
Yeah, once
I
a week.
thought he was
Yeah.
kosher. Funny.
Yeah, with mustard, because he didn't like mayonnaise. He thought it'd make him fat.
Wow.
Yeah. So he stayed away from it.
I would have gone with the
No, he's a
roast
good
beef.
guy. He's a good guy. Bruce.
Yeah.
Fighting Spirit. There's a... no, don't look at it yet. No.
Right. Take it
There's
away from
another one here. It's called The Warrior Within. The philosophies of Bruce Lee to better understand the world around you and achieve a rewarding life.
Mm.
Or wife, perhaps.
Or wife, yeah.
Yeah.
A rewarding wife.
Yeah. Yeah, no, don't
You-
take... No, his
no.
ghost will come here and haunt us.
You have to
In
pay
the bunker.
attention.
Jeremy, be on alert. The ghost of Bruce Lee could be
You know.
appearing.
You
Yeah.
have to find the warrior within,
The Warrior?
The Warrior
That's very
thing.
good, actually. It sounds like Bruce Lee.
and you can have a more rewarding life.
Yeah, and it's all about, it's all about, the whole book is about how to better understand the world
Mm.
and achieve a rewarding life. That's what it's about. And if you read it, you'll learn how to have a rewarding life
Mm.
and achieve a better understanding of the world around you if you read it.
If I read it.
Well, you may read it.
All right.
And the other one I have here is my favorite one.
Uh-huh.
Bruce Lee, Artist of Life.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's a pretty good book
Right.
because it's got actually, I like the picture on the cover the best of the others. I mean, I think the other one is a little too macho, the fighting spirit, with too many abs.
Too many muscles.
This one shows his delicate sort of feminine side.
No,
I think,
well,
yeah.
it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got that cute little come hither smile.
Yeah, he's got a kind of a winsome look.
Winsome.
I don't know what that means, but it seems
It
appropriate.
sounds good.
Winsome. I'm not good on vocabulary. I got to study. I never passed the thing, But anyway, so there's some books that I just happen to have about Bruce Lee, and I've never read any of them.
No, come on, you haven't read any of them.
No, I found them in this place.
But you just
They were in the bunker.
they were in. Okay.
Yeah. I think Hitler was reading them, before he was foreshadowing Bruce Lee. Now, anyway, what do you think about Bruce Lee?
I love Bruce Lee. It was, in fact, on my 10th, I remember exactly. I was 10 years old. My father's birthday.
Did he rape you?
No. Bruce Lee never raped me. Neither did my father.
Oh.
But I went to go see.
That's too far. The first part, that's not funny.
I went to go
There's
see.
no funny jokes about your father raping you. Actually, did you hear the one up? Never mind. Yeah.
I went to go see
People in
Enter the
Tennessee.
Dragon, 1973. I went to go see Enter the Dragon with my best friend.
1973, I must have been a mere tot.
I was 10 years old.
Yeah, okay.
And went to go see the film.
And you remember it?
And yeah, I remembered it because it was for me it was a revelation. And my friend and I we went back.
Did it start you on
back to his house and we just went
beat the shit out of
kung
each
fu
other?
crazy? Yeah, exactly.
Did that start you watching that film?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was exactly 40 years to the day that I passed my first examination for Kung Fu Master.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, very ironic.
So I'm glad I had the right books on hand
Yeah.
to and brought up Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is an icon, of course.
Bruce Lee is
Everybody knows Bruce Lee.
Mhm.
Everybody, he's fantastic and great. The only really good martial arts films ever made, aren't they?
No,
You like that Steven Seagal?
No.
You like that guy? He's an attractive man.
I heard about him. He's got a nice ponytail.
Yeah, he's an attractive guy. But no, I met him one time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was shooting a film and I was on the set. Actually, I wasn't on the set. I went to his hotel
Oh, okay.
to meet him because they were doing a film about something I had written about,
Yeah.
which was about sex slavery.
Oh.
And so he said, "Oh, bring him to me."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, "Bring him to me." So I went into this august reception.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually very nice to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "Man, what you did is that's really interesting." Asked me about it, listened, told him the story, and he was very cool about it. Because you hear a lot of stories. He's a total asshole.
I have heard
Yeah.
stories, but yeah.
But he was very nice to me and very respectful of what I had done, and listened intently. So, got him on the right day or whatever. You know what I mean? Got him on the right day. But that's a true story.
No,
Would you think he's a good martial
I-
artist?
I,
Because he does. What does he do?
He is. No, he's I think like 7th level Aikido.
Aikido, which is close.
Seventh dan of
Yeah.
Aikido, and I think he's like probably 5th dan karate or something like this. I don't remember exactly, but
Karate
he's very,
too, yeah.
very, very accomplished.
But he's very good.
Yeah, and actually he has studied a bit of Wing Chun for one film. So yeah, he's.
Now, I saw him
He
working
does-
with
he
the
does-
swords and stuff, and he can do all
He
that.
does have some,
And the nunchucks, he can fucking
Yeah.
do that stuff. Yeah.
but yeah, unfortunately, he has had made a somewhat questionable reputation for himself, because of some of his opinions and some of his support. From what I've heard, I don't.
Well, how do you mean?
But
But what do you mean as a martial art? I mean, only
As a
interested
martial
from
artist?
the point of
As a
view as a
martial
martial
artist,
artist, because
as-
the other stuff's just gossip. But as a martial artist, he seems useful. Right?
as a martial artist, I respect him.
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
And I think that's for our conversation.
As
That's
far
enough,
as
yeah.
far as a teacher of martial arts, he is very, very good. He was the first non-Japanese person to be given the permission to teach Aikido in Japan,
Hmm.
which is a real.
It's a huge
It's
honor.
a huge
So he
honor.
must have been
It's a
very
great,
good.
great mark.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are people that have had questions about his ego and things like this.
Well,
and
ego is
his,
a different thing.
But
Yeah.
I don't buy into that, and I don't.
He was very nice and
Yeah.
respectful to me.
Mm.
I have to say.
That's
And
what I think. Is
I think he's a
important,
guy who takes serious things seriously.
Yeah,
I do.
mhm.
And probably,
Well, I
people
think-
get a little jealous because
I
he's
think,
got a
exactly.
few ladies around.
I
right?
think exactly that.
He's got a few ladies
that,
around. Upsets people.
yeah, when you get to a very high level of notoriety for whatever reason, celebrity
Or celebrity.
yeah, there are always
Celebrity
people, always
nonsense.
people who will
Yeah.
find something to question.
I think we need a beer, don't you?
I think so. Yeah.
It'd be time for another beer. Yeah. We'll continue. Mike, could you get us a beer, please?
Yeah.
Mike's just here. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
He's a good man. We're going to talk, since we don't have Nesta Morgan, our beautiful
No, we had her already.
reporter.
Remember, we did.
No, but we didn't have her on.
Okay.
Well, we have.
We'll
maybe
have
her-
we'll have her later.
We had her or not, but we don't have her here now. But
one of these times we'll have her.
And we watched a couple of films following on
Darren.
theme of. Okay, we're going to talk about one of what people say is one of the worst films of last year, which I don't agree with.
Okay,
actually.
good. Huh?
And we'll talk about what
One
you,
of the best.
what you said was one of the good ones because we
Yeah.
mentioned it before.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get into that. So, yeah. Okay, Mordecai
Mordecai.
What
with
a
Johnny
piece of
Depp.
shit. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, Michael doesn't like it. You don't
Uh,
like it?
I've not seen it, so I find it difficult to comment.
Oh, you haven't seen it. I watched
I
it.
didn't see it.
I
I saw,
watched
but I can say I saw the trailer, and I think that was probably sufficient.
Michael, why was it shit?
Well, I think one can argue right now the term has been going around. There's a Matthew McConaissance, a renaissance of Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey, all over.
McConaissance.
McConaissance, yeah.
And conversely, right now what's going on
What
is
did Johnny Depp?
Depp's-
Did he take
Depp-
off his shirt in the film?
his-
Donnie
just
Jeff?
fell
Johnny
apart.
Depp.
I mean,
But he take off his film and
It just
No.
fell apart, man. I think recently Johnny Depp has not made a single good movie in the last 10 years almost.
Really?
I mean, barring Pirates of the Caribbean, which now he's just stretching it. Why are they even making the next one?
When did he make that drug movie, Blow?
Blow was
that 10
early
years ago?
2000s, very
10
early.
years ago.
I'll get that for you right now.
and Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows was about a mediocre.
I didn't see that one either.
It was a vampire.
It
movie,
was
right?
nowhere near as good as the original series.
Now, Dark Shadows you can watch on YouTube, can't you?
Yeah.
The original
The original?
is fantastic. Yeah.
It was like
God,
20 years.
It's been 30 years or
Nah,
something.
you
since
grow
I-
up with that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, Dark Shadows is a vampire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't just vampire. It was a supernatural TV drama, and where they focused on just the vampire Johnny Depp.
It was
Part
it
of
was
it,
the
yeah.
first kind of really occult soap opera.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
before
really,
that
yeah.
with the Addams Family.
And no, it was. I think it was after the Addams Family. But Addams Family was a comedy.
Well, Adam's
No,
Family,
it wasn't the Addams Family because before that it was the Munsters.
The Monsters and the Addams Family
Well,
at the same time.
Munsters was first. Munsters started 1964. Adam's Family about
Was after.
1965, I think.
They were competing
They were
series. I think
competing
if you go
series,
back and
yeah.
look at it, if you do your search on YouTube or in Wikipedia,
But
you'll
you know,
find
one
it.
of my favorites always was the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, see, the Twilight Zone is unbelievable.
And that was
Rod Serling.
Rod Serling was just fantastic.
This guy is a master of television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go back and you look at it now, because I recently just got the first series on DVD. And 1959, 1960, the things which they're showing, it's like, it's really quite, I think edgy. And
Twilight Zone. But we were talking about Mordecai.
Mordecai,
Not that it matters.
No,
but,
okay, yeah. Back to Mordecai.
Twilight
Mordecai
Zone.
was-
I could talk about. My favorite. We could go on. That's a
But
whole
Mordecai,
show.
I had, as I said,
You haven't seen it.
I saw.
But
I
Michael's
saw,
seen it and he
I,
hates it.
I saw the trailer, and it made me want to watch the film.
I watched it. I thought it was good.
But then again, I thought,
I thought it was good because it was bad.
mostly all of the good parts in the film I probably already saw in the trailer.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's like a. Do you know what Carry On film is?
Yeah.
Those English
Oh,
films.
yeah, yeah.
You
They were
know
filmed
mine.
in Ealing Studios, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
Right. It
It's
reminds
the
me
older-
of a
it's
kind
older
of a
than
Carry On film.
Oh yeah.
But with the
I've got
Carry On meets P.G. Woodhouse.
Oh okay.
The jokes are bad, but it's kind of.
I've actually got a tradition of watching Carry-Ons, like at least once a month.
I mean,
Really?
Ealing Studios
Yeah,
is
that's
installed
great.
in Hollywood.
Hmm?
It was the
Oh,
first
yeah.
movie studio made.
In May.
Yeah.
And they had a resurgence in the late 90s now, just with Shaun of the Dead was filmed there, and they had a whole bunch of new indie films being filmed. It's become a film school.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Yeah. The.
I still haven't seen the end. What was it? The End of the World. Yeah.
World's
What's the
End.
The World's End. The World's
What's
End.
that? What's
yeah.
that?
So there's a Cornetto trilogy.
That was the last one. It was.
So Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then
And
World's
then
End. So
World's
they
End,
they did a parody of horror films with
Like the
zombie.
Hammer Horror? Or?
No. But
Just
Hammer
zombie
Horror
films.
is Hammer Horror is its own thing, which has now been rebought.
That's like
in
Christopher
Icelandic
Lee and
backers,
those guys. Who are those? Vincent Price,
Yes,
Christopher
yeah.
Lee.
The original Dracula
Peter Cushing.
and all the
Peter
Frankenstein.
Cushing.
Yeah.
That's the one I always forget. Peter.
Two of them have.
Hey everybody, check out these films. They're amazing. If you're
Actually,
if you're really young, go and find these films on YouTube or whatever. These Hammer Horror films.
No,
You're
they-
gonna love them. They're the early vampire films. They're
Google
great.
it. Google it
Yeah.
now. No,
Google
because
them now.
Yeah,
Google
because
now.
Iceland-
Hammer Horror.
Iceland.
great stuff.
I think
Yeah.
there were some Icelandic backers that they bought the studios, and now
Really?
they started putting out
To do them
movies.
again?
The woman, the woman in black with Harry Potter.
Oh.
The Harry Potter actor,
Mhm.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
That was Hammer Horror.
Oh, really?
That was their first indie production.
Are you saying
writing.
the Icelandic people have bought this?
Yeah, there were some investment bankers or some investment group that bought Hammer Horror.
That's crazy because a
And
friend of
they're-
mine
and
is
they're
a
pub-
very good film editor
And then Hammer Horror started
from
again.
Iceland. Yeah, she did that recent Keanu Reeves film. Her name's Elizabeth. She did Keanu Reeves. She's done a lot of films, but that's her latest one. The latest Keanu Reeves. I can't remember the name of it. Have you seen it? I saw it was good.
Jack Strong.
Jack Strong. Yeah.
No,
No,
Keanu
John-
Reeves. Keanu Reeves.
It's Jack Strong, isn't it?
No.
No, wait. John Wick.
John Wick.
Okay.
She did the editing.
Jack
now.
Strong was the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
I
Keanu
do
Reeves'
confuse them.
action movie, coming back to action. Yeah. Pretty good film.
It was actually I thoroughly enjoyed John
It's
Wick.
well shot. Yeah.
So why do you think? Why was Mordecai
And he's
such a
Why do I think it was
shite
terrible?
film?
I don't think it was terrible. Why do people think it was terrible?
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with the kind of
Was it the expectations that you had Gwyneth Paltrow, that you had Johnny Depp? Everybody expected, oh, this is going to be fucking brilliant.
Well, it was kind of.
Because I had,
I think it's like talking about things.
What was
like,
it? The Tourist.
No,
I think that's when
everybody
it
thought,
didn't go wrong.
Everybody
It was.
Everybody had the expectation. Oh, this looks good.
no,
The
I
Tourist was the point where I fell out of love with Johnny Depp.
And then
It was. I mean, he didn't even there was no chemistry there, and not that there should be, but I mean, I think it inherently helps the film production.
He
never spoke to her.
There's an expression that they have in Hollywood. Is that he phoned it in.
Yeah.
He phoned it in.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think his accent was really that good, and it wasn't really convincing.
It's not about.
But it didn't matter so much because you could do Dick Van Dyke. It was kind of a Dick Van Dyke, and he's better than that. He should have been better. And he missed a lot of words. If you really listen to the thing, he misses a lot of the dialogue. He makes mistakes, and they don't redo them, probably because the director doesn't understand what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah.
But also Gwyneth Paltrow, who everybody loves.
Mordecai, you're talking about.
Yeah. Who everybody loves to hate. And Mordecai, is really hateable.
Really?
Yeah, she's great, and that she just is.
But I liked her.
That person that everybody dislikes.
I loved her, and
she could have done a better role.
The Iron Man and
she's good in Iron Man, but this is the problem with this is she's lived in England for a lot of years. She's married that guy from a band,
Oh yeah, it was,
yeah, Coldplay. Yeah.
Well, we don't like to say that.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
No.
And, punk never dies. Yeah, but
Chris Martin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris Martin. Yeah, is her husband, ex-husband now.
Yeah.
She's running around with somebody else. Yeah, I don't think that's right. No, it's none of my business. Anyway, she doesn't have a good English accent. She's an actress, and she's lived in England.
I'm really surprised.
How long do you have to live in England to learn the accent?
But she's had an English accent for.
No,
God
she has
how long.
East Coast accent.
No, but she's done it many times.
She's done it before. Oh yeah, she did it in that movie about mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she didn't do it good. Well.
Good didn't do it good.
Didn't
do that accent good, did you?
It's easy for me to say. Yeah. But she is.
Come to English, real.
Well, she's not very convincing.
Speak good.
As a English lady.
Mm. I like how you say lady.
Yeah, as an
It's
English
a very
lady.
It's a very Sean Connery. English lady.
Lady.
Yeah.
She's an English lady.
She's an English lady.
She's not very good as an English lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Sean Connery may have just entered the room.
I think so.
Mm. But anyway, never mind. I thought it was kind of like it was like a P.G. Wodehouse modern. It's based on some books actually from recently modern times.
Mm.
And he's Lord Mordecai.
All right.
He's an art dealer. Now look. He's an art dealer, and he's talking about art and pictures, and people don't give a shit about art unless it's a film about a picture. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You start making a movie about art, and people are like, "That's boring." From the start, he's an art. He steals art. Why doesn't he steal cars? That was kind of my feeling. It's a harmless film. It's perfectly okay.
Actually,
it's very camp. What's wrong with that?
And contrary to a lot of people, I do know art. I don't know what I like, but I do know art. But why are we going on about a film that was supposed to be as you said, the worst film of the year? Let's move on to
because the critics talk about because I'll tell you why. Because the critics always talk about how films are bad, and they never made a film.
Well, yeah.
But
let them go try to make a film.
To your argument, quoting Quentin Tarantino.
Danny, you're coughing.
Quentin
I can do that exactly at the same time.
He was like a ventriloquist.
Yes.
So
I think it was one of our audience members who's coughing.
Quentin Tarantino said that to make one bad movie is equivalent of making 3 good ones.
Yeah.
And once you get into that spiral, I mean, you see it in Seagal, you see it in Van Damme, you see it.
Well, they never made good movies, really good movies.
I would argue the 90s were a very good decade for them, and they were
they good
Under
movies?
Siege. I'm sorry, but for me, that's a classic.
McDonald's makes money. Is it a good hamburger?
Well,
really.
one can argue, yes. Fair enough, but it's a cultural symbol. It's been transcended into society to that point.
We're all addicts. I'm not saying we're not addicts of McDonald's. We are.
I don't.
But is it a good hamburger? That's my point.
Don't eat.
Okay. I'm not arguing that Citizen Kane is comparable to Under Siege, but in the terms of male-dominated movies,
no, I mean these
Under
action
Siege
movies
is-
of the '90s. Under Siege is a good movie.
Yeah.
Is that Gary Busey or somebody? Who's
Gary Busey's in it.
Yes,
of
he
course.
is. He plays the guy.
He's
like
the
head
lieutenant
naval guy.
or the right hand man of the captain of the ship.
That's right.
Who betrays, yeah?
Yeah. Gary Busey, yeah. That's an interesting guy.
I mean, he's been in 1,001 movies, that's for sure.
There's plenty of stories about Gary Busey. Somebody told me a good Gary Busey story the other day. Somebody was in the bathroom, in the loo somewhere, in the restroom or whatever, yeah? Gentleman's Convenience. At, I can't remember the city, maybe London, but they were in he was in there, and Gary Busey burst in, not looking at anyone, just sort of wandering about, went into a stall, locked it, and all they heard was, just this huge sniffing noise, and then he burst out without talking or looking at anyone and ran back out the door again. And somebody told me that just the other day. Obviously, a Gary Busey aficionado. I am not, but nonetheless, there we are.
That's the dangers of show business.
Dangers or perks, hard to say. Daniel is back.
My front too.
You had to go and take a pee. Well, that happens.
Wee.
Happens. Well done. Well, you're too smart to be on this podcast.
I'm sorry.
You talk about these words. Like, what was that word you said before?
What?
You said a word earlier.
I said a few of them.
Huge.
I think
it was imponderable.
Unfathomable.
No, it was bloviating. No, unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
Yeah.
And Merkin.
You were and Merkin. You
Yeah.
got me confused here.
I have an unfathomable
Merkin. Well, it means you have an unfathomable pubic wig.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a
The water is deep
and possibly
cold.
difficult to understand pubic wig.
No.
Is that what that would mean?
I would think so.
Yeah, unfathomable. That's a good word. Yeah. But so tell me, Danny.
What about the best film?
Yes, exactly. That's
Okay,
what
there
I
we
would
go.
ask you. Yeah. What do you think is the best film here?
Best film? Well,
What's the best film you've seen recently?
recently I saw Kingsman.
Fantastic movie.
And I actually
Go on, mate.
I actually enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Why?
Well, when I first saw the idea, the concept of the movie, just like okay, some Secret Service, I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of serious sort of thing. And then when I saw the trailer, I went, whoa, this is not exactly what I thought. When I actually saw the film, it was completely different than
The trailer.
either of the first two.
What your impressions? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It has that guy Colin. What's his name in it?
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Firth. He's a good actor. He's a really good actor. Yeah.
And it's nice to see him in an action role as opposed to the 4 Weddings and a Funeral. kind
Yeah,
of.
Or
Mamma
just some
Mia,
quiet.
yeah,
He
exactly.
plays these quiet
He
roles.
did. He
Yeah.
actually did.
He's great in that.
Some 80% of all of the physical stunts in the film.
Well, there's a lot of stunts. Yeah. 'Cause
So
I watched it last weekend. I would disclose. I watched it last weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I've
Yeah.
rewatched the church scene about 10, 15 times.
Yeah.
For sure. That's my favorite scene in
Here
that
goes
movie.
Michael. Here goes Michael.
Yeah.
Everybody, I guess everybody's seen this, but Michael, what's the church scene for those who haven't?
So, spoiler
Okay,
alert.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
The ultimate evil plan in this movie, Samuel Jackson's character has devised a signal that turns people into homicidal maniacs, and he decides to test out this signal in I don't know, not Pentecostal, but a
some
very
Southern
big
church, yeah.
Southern
Now he's got
Bible
this
Belt
thing
church.
that makes everybody go wacky.
And he
Yeah.
turned it on, and Colin Firth is investigating at the time, and he goes on a bloody rampage of killing all of these ultra right-wing Christian...
Everybody basically turns into berserkers.
Yeah, it's the rage virus.
It just everyone turns into
the
rage virus.
Yeah.
It's a rage virus. Anyway, I gotta tell you, I would wonder, I mean, how would I know, but I would bet that Quentin Tarantino watched that and said,
"Fuck."
No, he watched it and said, "Thank you very much." Because it's a redo of Kill Bill, isn't it?
In a certain sense, but I mean, if you look at his previous,
but it's much more political.
But if you look at his previous work, he's done Kick-Ass. He's done He's done a lot of these action films, and there is a lot of gore in it. And if you look at Quentin Tarantino, when he argues and when people come back at the whole violence thing, it's always come back to, for him, violence and the visual nature of cinema is purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's purely to get a point across. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the beautiful things about it.
But, you know, also, I think that there's a bit of a difference between that kind of almost comic book style and, in fact, Kick-Ass, as well as Kingsman, in fact.
They're both graphic novels.
We're both based on graphic novels. So when it goes that far over the top, there is this kind of suspension of disbelief, which is, I think, essential to really good, you know, storytelling in cinema.
But
the ability to go, it can happen, yeah? It's that suspension of disbelief which we thrive on, I think, with all of the different, like, superhero, sort of genre, that we can go, I know that can't happen in real life, but you just forget about it and just enjoy the in fact, I think you could even take that back to Kurosawa.
I mean, but that's where that's fundamental filmmaking 101, and that's
wait a second. Who's Kurosawa?
Kurosawa is the godfather of filmmaking, visual filmmaking.
Oh, you mean the guy who did Ran?
The guy who did Seven Samurai.
Yeah, Seven Samurai.
And if you're going to look at any...
That's before my time, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's before all of our times, technically.
I hate when people say that. Yeah, there you go. It's before my time. You have YouTube and the internet, and you have history.
Well,
it's like Jesus was before your time. It's never an excuse. But people say that.
For my bedtime or what? Yeah.
No.
But you were very right.
Yeah.
Just to get back to the point you were just saying earlier, with the violence and everything else. But what I think the other trick is, and the beauty of cinema, it's all magic. If you actually take apart Reservoir Dogs or even Kill Bill, the gore and violence is all subliminal. It's very much painted that way. But if you actually take apart the scenes, they're not as violent as they think. In Kill Bill, it was turned into black and white in the first bit when he's doing the fight scene. And Reservoir Dogs, for the use of blood that's in there, it's all done with your head. You're going old school with Hitchcock.
Oh yeah.
With the
Psycho,
shower scene.
Psycho, exactly.
It was all done with your head.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't actually show much nudity. They didn't actually show any violence in there.
114 shots. 114 shots
in like a minute,
in a minute and a half, yeah.
And no merkin.
And
Not
yeah,
one
no
merkin.
and the blood was syrup.
Yeah,
Not
Hershey's
one
syrup,
merkin in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And never once,
I'll
never
tell you
once
what.
do you see the knife actually enter.
Ever.
When I look at that and I see
And that's
the way
the
he
genius.
filmed that, and I see that, look at that scene, I say it's unfathomable.
Me too.
Perhaps imponderable as well.
Actually, I do. One of my favorites is the parody of that from High Society that Mel Gibson did. I think it was in 1977, 78, when he's in the shower, and the bellboy comes in with the newspaper and like beats him with the newspaper.
No, that's in Mel
Here's
Brooks.
your paper.
Here's your paper. Here's your paper. And he's made
And then the paper falls down the bottom of the shower, and the ink runs down
the thing.
Yeah.
But that's funny because that's an old Vietnam thing.
Mhm.
That's an old Secret Service thing where they teach them that if you don't have a weapon, you can roll the paper up. If you have a paper, roll it up, and you can make a weapon out of a tightly wound paper, and it'll take you out.
Really?
Absolutely.
Or does it
It's
depend?
an old trick.
Does it depend if it's like the Washington Post?
Doesn't matter. No, you don't take the whole fucking thing. You're like, you have to take a section, little section, and you can make a thing. And no, it's true.
I'm gonna take the Sunday supplement.
It's definitely true. Or you could take a magazine. Magazines hurt.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got stabbed with a magazine one
Life.
time.
Who wants to get killed with life?
No, I wrote an article in Playboy, and my girlfriend didn't like it. She tried to stab me with a rolled-up magazine.
With Playboy.
With that one, yeah. With my article in it. She says, there's naked women in there. I'm jealous. Yeah. I said, well,
Do you know that it's
ever read the Bible, sweetheart? A lot of naked broads in that book.
Yeah. A lot of begetting and begotten.
Now, I want to ask you about this, though, about the Kingsman.
Yeah.
Since being a fifth Dan, or whatever Dan you are,
I am the first Dan.
you're a Dan,
I am the
as well as,
the Dan.
I know, I'm making one of those, what is that called, a metaphor? You make a play on words?
I know what I metaphor, but I'm
No,
not going to
it's
tell you.
no, I'm making a pun.
Okay, pun.
A pun.
No, that's
on your name.
No, that was.
You have a lot of Dans.
That was actually just pu. That was 2/3 of a pun.
But you have some Dans now.
Okay, I do. Second level. Yeah. So
you're Dan,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, I'm Dan.
Two
Yeah,
Dans.
Yeah, I'm Dan. Yeah.
And your Dan is your name.
Actually, I'm a couple of Dans.
Okay. I think
depending
everybody's
on
got
how
the
you
joke
catch
by
me.
now. It's not funny anymore. It probably wasn't when I started. But what do you think about the section of the Kingsmen when they do all? Is it realistic? As
The martial arts?
Yeah.
Oh no, of course not.
It's not at all.
No.
But I think it was very much structured. If you ever seen Equilibrium,
It
and
is-
I feel it was a movie that's
it
very
is-
overlooked because it came out exactly the same time as Matrix, and people think it came out afterwards.
Yeah.
And they designed the martial arts,
The
which
martial-
is Gun Kata, and
Yeah.
you definitely
The martial-
see it in the church scene as well.
The martial arts and the stunt work is fantastic. I have to say. I actually did have a short training for doing stunt work, and the stunt work in the film is just fantastic.
Stunt work's great.
Yeah, stunt work is great.
So it's great. But it's not believable, of course. I mean, it's ridiculous.
have
but
one
the stunt
foothold.
work's great. That's the point. It
the fact that to have,
And he's doing it.
yeah,
And
the fact
he
that
knows
he's doing it,
he's been taught to do
the
it.
activeness of it is great, you know.
The activeness of it. Yeah.
And
Which is a lot of the game.
Yeah, and the fact that it is done in a very stylistic, I would say very John Woo kind of way. I think it does take something from the Hong Kong John Woo police.
But still, it's
kind of
original,
style.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Because they're going,
But-
and it's very political, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Now, I want to talk about the political side of it, because they go into this church in the Kingsman there.
Mm-hmm.
They go into the church, and the guy is preaching fire and brimstone, we don't like. It's a little obvious because he says a lot of things about the people are.
But
those black people aren't good. Those
No,
Asians aren't good. Those people aren't good.
the one
Those, you know,
the one thing which I loved though.
it's a bit obvious that.
The one thing which for me was fantastic was the one character who played.
I mean, obvious in the way of trying. I don't mean obvious that those people aren't good. I mean obvious in the way of the way they're portraying it.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. Obvious as that, I think they're over the top in portraying prejudice. You know.
Oh, as far as the prejudice, yeah.
And I think that's the weakness of the scene, because they didn't have to do that, go so far, because they're really having a go about religion.
That was I think that was one of the few I would say. It goes a
little too far, but it's interesting.
Very edgy parts about that.
Very edgy.
But that, you know.
No, they're in like a big church.
But that was, and that was kind of an interesting thing because.
It was very interesting.
Because of the fact that the film is a British production, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I think it's a joint.
But joint production, okay.
With the Americans and British.
But a lot of the kind of allusions in the film, a lot of the connections which they talk about in the film, and the small little slight things were very, very British. Unless you're an extreme Anglophile like you and I, you probably wouldn't.
No, because you lived in England.
Yeah, and so
did I.
Yeah,
for a number of years.
So you probably wouldn't catch those small little sorts of things that were, you know, very typical that you would expect for a British audience.
Well, there's a lot of stuff about class in there.
But then also,
Wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Or class. Class. There was a lot of stuff about when you're looking at the character of Colin Firth.
Mm-hmm.
He is obviously a guy who went to a boys' school and whatever, and went to a good university. Went to Oxford. As they start at the beginning, there's a scene where they go, did you go to Oxford or Cambridge? To the Cockney boy.
Yeah.
You go to Oxford or Cambridge or St Andrews or Durham?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, East End, mate, or something like that. I don't remember what he said. It was something like that.
I don't think he even went to college.
No, I don't think so. No, he was a barrow boy, as they call him, don't they?
But yeah, there was that very definite, you know, kind of view of the class distinction.
There was, and the movie's full of that. And the tailor shop,
but
and all that stuff. But it's about manners as well.
The thing, you know,
it's about having good manners, not interrupting your guest.
Maketh manners.
That's what Oxford.
No, sorry.
That's what Colin Firth says.
No,
he doesn't say
that.
Bar.
But
he doesn't say that.
But
he
does.
No, he doesn't say that. He says manners maketh man.
Oh, pardon me.
Which is the saying. Not man maketh man.
So,
manners maketh man.
Manners, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in the common dining room, I think, in Oxford. It's
just a well-known phrase. I don't know. Somebody said it. We can probably find.
William Harkin.
Yeah. William Harkin, yeah.
Was the headmaster of Eton and Winchester in the early Tudor period.
It's Eton.
And it's quoted by him.
It's Eton.
But it is either in the Oxford or
and
Cambridge
you will find
common dining room. I know that
even no matter who you ever met who went to Eton, even as they're robbing you blind, they'll be very polite about it.
Oh yeah, I have been stolen.
Manners maketh man.
We actually
the Indians could tell you that.
I came from
the Indian nation,
a Catholic state school in London, and we would do Model United Nations with all of the private schools. So the prep schools, including Eton. Yeah. And we had one trip where we were in Eton. So Model United Nations is essentially giving teenagers the hypothetical power of trying to solve the world's problems. And it all devolves down to, back dealing, trying to, you help us on this bill, we'll try and pass this, and etc. But what really happens is, it's teenagers. What would you expect to happen? So Eton, well, yeah.
The same thing that happens anyway.
Amongst other things, yes. And Eton,
more sex, hopefully.
Eton sent us this message going, haha, your parents are poor, because we were the only state school at this conference. So the
You actually got a message from them that said that?
Oh, your parents are poor.
Yeah.
That's not right.
So,
that never used to happen in the old days.
So the conversation really
The
evolved.
very old days.
Our
20 years ago.
rebuttal to that was, haha, your parents don't love you because obviously you're in a private school. And,
Well done,
and it
touche.
goes from back to back, and my personal experiences with Eton boys are the pretentiousness. Just you can't really wash that away. They're given every opportunity in the world, and unfortunately, because of the fact that the conditions they get put in and the pressure they get put in, some of these people really crack. I mean, one of the people we met, you get the icebreakers. You're in the conference where I was representing North Korea for my first one in the Middle East conference, which just devolved into men versus women. And what they came down to was we're doing an icebreaker, get to learn something about everyone, and you've got these people who
I'm not sure what you're talking about now. You're talking about some...
Eton, like what...
You're talking about a college,
the
high
prep
school...
The prep school in university.
No, I know that, but you're talking about a prep school, some kind of meeting where you had a...
So, obviously, extracurricular-wise, the private schools love to establish like things like the Model United Nations. In the UK, they run all of these things where every school represents a different country, and then you have a forum as if it was the actual United Nations, and they try and solve the world's problems.
Right. And so you're from not a privileged private school.
No. But we were just.
And you're from a fifth form school.
Yeah, we were from a state school, but we managed to succeed at least on the academic level.
Well, fine. Yeah.
So there was a lot of controversy between us and them, and they would antagonize us with the fact that we were from a state school.
Well, it sounds like the 99%. Yeah.
They are.
The 1%.
Yeah,
the 1% putting the messages, but it's not really like that. This is the thing that it's not really like that.
Well, could
it's
you
like a lot of those people are good people.
Go back for just a moment.
Some of them are assholes, but that's the same in the industry.
I know, but when you put them in that environment where
then it's some of them. It's not all of them.
I know.
Yeah, and the best ones are not doing that because they know better. They've been taught.
Well, they ought to.
Well, I mean, how do you get ahead in business? And you don't get ahead by being a good guy. You get ahead by being smart and making the right decisions. Why it might screw somebody else.
Being crafty.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, you look at Eton and everything else. It's the set off point for.
It's the ultimate kind of competition to.
I know, but it sets off the future heads of state from Jordan, from everywhere else as well. So it's and in terms of the Kingsmen and everything else. The whole film, a lot of film critics.
It's funny we come back to Eton again.
No, but they argue.
It's a hobby horse, isn't it? Because the guy who we were reading the letter from his prospective wife, the email, who writes letters, email is an Eton fellow.
Yeah.
And in the very sense of even the name of the film, Kingsman.
Yeah.
By virtue of going to Eton, in a sense, you become your own version of the Kingsman. You.
So you're saying it's insidious propaganda? Insidious? Is that a word I understand?
Insidious is a word.
Do I understand that word?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's propaganda, but it's an environment that can potentially, not necessarily turn you into a megalomaniac, but
crazy guy.
But I do believe that there is something within that which, if you have the proper, I could say, I think the basic it comes down to this: the proper smack at the right moment to stop you from going into that direction of to the dark side, the megalomania. My own belief is that there is something which I've always believed is nobility. Nobility has nothing to do about where you come from, what culture or what class you've been born into. what your education is or isn't. It's how you choose.
Where does it come from then? You're talking about nobility of spirit. Where does it come from? Or nobility of actions? Where does it come from? If not from some background of some kind. Where do you learn it?
That's a good
Are you
question.
saying? I'm just asking. Is it?
Yeah,
Maybe
because
it's innate.
it's not something which is innate. I
Well,
think.
well, it
Unfortunately,
may be innate in certain individuals. We don't. I'm not sure that we could answer that. We'd have to ask Noam Chomsky about language and things. I'm not sure he'd know.
I think that there are certain characteristics.
Or Dawkins.
Which given the right time.
I understand.
What you looking at?
Okay.
What's
There's
that?
nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self.
Yeah, but that's Hemingway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Hemingway.
And that's something which I've always
Be
believed
superior
in.
to yourself and your previous time and improve yourself. But this is very American. But I don't think it's what we're talking about either.
I wouldn't say it's really American because I think that's
it's everybody. But
actually, that's one of the things that we
but it's Horatio Alger, you know.
No, even in Kung Fu we have this
actually,
kind
but
of,
that's not right.
Idea that like the most difficult enemy, and this is Bruce Lee.
Is yourself.
Right there on the
is
Bruce
yourself.
Lee. The most difficult enemy that you have to face is yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was interviewing. I was interviewing that guy. He's like the world championship heavyweight boxer. What's his name?
Mike Tyson.
No, I interviewed him too. This was I did actually. No, this is a white guy. He's from the Ukraine. It's called Klitschko.
Oh, Klitschko.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vladimir. I haven't interviewed.
Because his brother is the mayor.
His brother's the mayor of Kiev. I want to interview him. I haven't been given permission yet by him, or by his people. It's not him. But I interviewed his brother, and his brother said to me, Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight champion of the world, said, your biggest enemy is yourself. He said the same thing. Yeah. And Tyson said the same thing. See, there's a warrior mentality. You come to brass tacks. You learn that, I think, in struggle in life, or whether it's in fighting, which is a finite, it's a series of finite battles. But life is a continuous battle. Yeah. And I think it's the same idea, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
It's interesting, you said that, you're a fighter, you're a whatever Dans you are, you're a Dan and a Dans. You're a multiple Dan. And
I like that, multiple Dan.
Yeah, and you immediately seize on that, as being important, and it is.
Yeah.
It's very important to know that you're your own worst enemy, as the thing goes.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's,
But I want to go back to Kingsman.
There's nothing which stops a person more than themselves.
It's so true. And procrastination. Hamlet is all about, the whole thing is about procrastination.
But coming back to Kingsman.
Nobility and procrastination. Yeah. You
but I like
to follow your destiny.
But I did like this. I did like this thing about in Kingsman, about like finding the fact of nobility in yourself.
Correct, and that was the point. It's in everybody.
It's in everybody. If you choose,
that's why they take this guy.
If you choose to go that direction, if you realize that it's not about being posh, it's not about being snobbish.
It's about a way of behaving.
It's not about being stylish even.
No, it's about a way of behaving.
Yeah, it's about a way of like
and tradition.
Yeah, and
actually, because they're wearing suits from a Savile Row.
Savile, yeah.
And he says you must have a bespoke suit.
Yeah.
And he adds, he says that is the modern gentleman's armor, or whatever he says, something like that. He says
suit of armor.
He says it's armor.
But it is.
But he does qualify it later, and he says it actually is armored. It's bulletproof.
But you have to feel comfy.
He does actually say it's bulletproof, which makes it more practical for people. Because, I mean, we all know that when you put on a nice suit, you feel like you're ready to go, right? You feel proper and all of that. And I think it's really good.
The fact of having, a nice suit on does give a person,
Are we still alive?
the kind of, feeling of...
So what it does is...
having a good suit...
That was Luke, who's taken over bodyguard services from Jeremy. He had to go home
And
to his...
failing miserably.
Failing miserably.
Having a good suit
'Cause
on
he's shouting
does
out while we're
give you
talking.
a feeling of being invincible. And I think that
Who does what?
having a good suit and bespoke.
Yeah, but
bespoke,
that's kind of the point. But it's just a kind of it's like having a routine. It's like waking up. It's like some people. What was that guy Jobs? You know, that fucking brilliant guy. Yeah, I think he was overrated. Who ran Apple?
Stevie, yeah.
Yeah, that big guy. He always wore a turtleneck, the black turtleneck. That's all he ever wore. That was his shield. It's also about you don't waste time on clothes and style. You do you have any cigarettes? I know he's doing his pantomime, like the dancing bear on Captain Kangaroo. Yeah.
Captain Kangaroo. Oh, I've not heard that one for a long time. No,
Smoking cigarettes and talking kangaroo. Well, don't tell me, got nothing to do. We didn't even get into the music because Danny, you're a great musician as well, being a very accomplished artist.
Where are you wandering off to? You're going to leave me here in front of the microphone with nothing to say. And again, well, that's just what happens.
Close the door because Luke has run out there to deal with some rapscallions in the neighborhood.
Rapscallions.
Yeah, there's a few people running around. I don't know what a rapscallion is. I think it's a person who's disreputable.
At
least. Sounds like it,
I actually
doesn't it?
thought it was a vegetable.
I always get rapscallion and Rapunzel confused. There's one of them had golden hair.
Rapscallion, let down your hair? No, it doesn't work.
Wasn't that? She had golden hair or something, yeah? Or red hair? I don't know.
You
Like
guys-
Rita Hayworth? Yeah.
You guys were saying
Back
there was
on
a
track.
moment of disbelief in Kingsman, and I don't know for you guys, but my moment of bullshit was near the very end when they'd managed to get the private jet up to the landing pad, and you see
And there was a Scotsman on there.
No, yeah, but you see 90 freaking bad guy soldiers run past the plane.
That was Star Wars.
Yeah, no, but I call bullshit. It was Star Wars. It was exactly that. But I call
They
bullshit.
had the
I mean,
same
like you
uniforms, didn't they?
see a freaking plane on the
Or you
runway.
only live twice.
You don't leave like a couple of guys to stop it, especially when you see like
Or-
4 dead bodies
You
around.
only live twice. I was
Or
just
you
watching
only
that.
live twice.
Yeah, I was just watching that yesterday.
It was the same uniforms.
Yeah.
The white uniforms.
I mean, how do you justify
In the
that?
volcano.
How do you justify that as like, you know?
Well, you don't justify it.
Just-
It's like,
just
it's a movie.
let it go.
It's like there's
Oh,
a
look.
lot of... You can't justify
Great.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I can look past
Read-
everything else, but I just
But
call
wait a second.
bullshit. You know,
Read-
Mark Strong should have had a gun battle with them or something.
Yeah,
You know,
but
the funny thing with Mark
Read
Strong,
the big sleeve
Mark
and try to
Strong-
make sense out of it.
Mark
You
Mark
can't.
Strong was actually, big sleep. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. I mean, Mark Strong
You
was
can't
actually,
make sense out of it.
was actually contracted to do
A lot of gaps.
the part with a Welsh accent,
Yeah.
but he couldn't do it, and so he did it in Scottish.
So, well, speaking of funny accent,
Who the guy who was Scottish was supposed to be Welsh?
He was supposed originally they wanted him to do it with a Welsh accent, but
But who can do a Welsh accent?
the Welsh. I literally tell people because obviously
Who can speak like a
from
Welshman?
I'm from the UK and
It's very hard.
I teach English in Poland and the lesson I give people is if you can understand Welsh English,
Yeah.
you can understand English spoken by any language and any
I think
creed,
Scottish-
race on
Actually,
the
the
planet.
Scottish accent is more
The Welsh,
difficult.
no, the Welsh accent is far more difficult.
Well,
even for English people, we can understand Scottish, not a
You
problem.
mean when it gets weird?
Yes.
But the normal in Cardiff, I think you can understand. But when you go out to
But-
Aberystwyth with the
Yeah, but the problem is
What
the,
you know-
the normal in Cardiff is because there are so many non-Welsh people
Welsh people,
there.
yeah.
in-
right, that's a
That's what we say.
fundamentally,
Yeah.
So they have to
The thing
communicate.
about Welsh is that you only pronounce the letters which are not there.
What is the most popular name in Wales?
I have no idea.
Llewellyn Johnson.
Jones.
I think one of the funniest moments I had
Tom
was
Jones.
so there's a UK
And Thomas.
It's not
Dylan
unusual.
Thomas. Yeah.
there's a TV show called Mock the Week.
Mm.
And it was
that's a good show.
shortly after 9/11, and one of the UK's most famous comedians, Michael McIntyre, he did a bit of a skit on Wales, and you said so. The new Welsh anti-terror plan was so. If you're in Wales or in Scotland or in Ireland, you have not only the English on the road signs, but you also have the Welsh or the Gaelic, so Irish or the Scottish. And as you're coming into Wales, there's a road sign that says slow down, but in Welsh, phonetically,
slow down means speed up.
It's stop Arab.
Slow down.
So, you know, that was the Welsh post 9/11 anti-terrorism. Just like, we just don't want the Arabs to come in. That solves all the problems.
No, I loved what was it? What was the film series? Little Britain.
Yes.
About the only gay in the village.
I'm the only gay in the village?
Only gay in the village. No, I still have...
Richard Burton was Welsh.
I still have a great
Not
friend.
a lot of people know that.
How's Catherine Zeta-Jones Welsh?
Yeah,
I don't get that. That's the one thing I don't get.
I've got a great friend who I've known for many years. And for the first few years, we just knew him as Shmeen. And this was in the States. This was, everybody knew him. This was in the punk community, Shmeen. And was a great friend of mine, still is a great friend of mine after like 25 years. But we realized that where his nickname came from, it was Shmeen, actually come from Welshmeen.
Welshman. Welshman.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Is that right?
Welshman. I'm a Welshman.
Welshman.
Someone just called him Shmeen.
As I was saying, Richard Burton is Welsh. Tom Jones is Welsh.
Yeah, Tom Jones.
Richard Burton
is Dylan Thomas.
And Catherine Jones is the biggest name in Wales, for sure. I have Welsh ancestry, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're proud of that?
I live with it. I'm not proud of it because a Welshman wouldn't be proud of that. Of simply having
Skywalker.
Of simply having what's going on? Go in. Continue. We're having a short break.
Can we come? Happy ending.
Good Lord, Danny. We talk so. You and I, we know each other well. We could talk about.
We talk. Yeah.
You and I will talk for hours. When we meet each other.
And we do that.
Yeah, we do. And I always enjoy talking to you. It's always a lot of fun for me.
I love talking to you too.
Well, thanks.
You have to.
So I'm glad we're in agreement on that. But no, come back. This is our first one.
Okay, definitely.
There will be many to follow.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to get in the course of time we'll invite lots of different people in and have several people at a time.
Could we invite more girls next time?
Well, I mean, we don't. It's not a.
I know it is a bunker.
It's not a sex party, Dan.
It is. No, I know, but
it's not a sex party.
But I would like to have more.
We can invite some ladies as guests, and
no, not
whatever.
Ladies, girls.
This is a. This is
ladies. Every time you say ladies, I think it's like
conversation, Danny.
Okay.
And I'd like to say that it is something that we will continue, and we will perhaps even add some film.
But what's very important?
That's me doing Norm Macdonald, doing Clint Eastwood, doing John Huston.
But what's most important?
What is most important, Grasshopper?
Most important is that we focus on those things which are going to develop people to become, I think, more better people.
I know what you're talking about, but you have a very strange Fu Manchu mustache on your chin. It's like horizontal. Not horizontal. It's vertical. You have a vertical Fu Manchu man.
I've got a vertical.
Thing. Yeah, which is disturbing me. But I didn't say anything about it before.
My girlfriend, for the last 3 days, has been trying to figure out which Polish pop rock personality I remind her of.
You resemble?
Yeah, which I resemble.
Yeah, and who is that?
I don't know. She can't figure it out.
I
It's
don't
driving
think you
her
resemble
fucking,
anyone.
It's
actually.
driving her fucking crazy.
I think
So.
you know, I think you resemble
Who?
Danny Stewart.
That's what I keep telling her. But you know,
Well,
that's what I tell a lot of people.
Let me tell you, Danny. I think that
I tell
you
everybody.
resemble
You know.
Danny Stewart.
You know.
Yeah.
I keep telling people for years now. I'm famous, except no one knows it yet.
Danny, I know it.
Yeah, see?
I know it. You're an accomplished man, and an accomplished linguist, and an accomplished musician.
I'm a very cunning linguist.
You're going to come
in fact.
back. Can I ask you to come back? Can I start? Don't start. That's a platitude by now. It's not even a joke anymore. No, you can come back. Will you come back and
I will come back.
We'll do some music?
Yeah.
Will you do that?
Great. Yeah.
Because you're a good guitar player.
I bring my guitar
and musician. You were
harmonica, kazoo,
had that
whatever. Yeah.
band out there running around doing your band stuff. Yeah. And it'd be great if you could come back and we'll play some music next time. Okay?
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot. Thank you for being here. This is The Bunker.
This
Hey,
is
everybody.
The Bunker.
Hey, this is The Bunker.
Episode number 1.
Thanks for being here.
The Bunker.
We'll see you next time. We'll have some more people talking about some more stuff. We're going
We'll
further.
be back. We'll be
no,
going much further.
This is no parochial show.
No.
We're going further. We're going to bring people from all across the world, all different kinds of attitudes and
I'll be back.
backgrounds and work experience. So come back and join us. I want to thank Mike, our producer.
Thanks, guys.
I want to thank Danny Stewart for being our guest. My name is Will Richardson. Thank you for being with us.
Well,
and
thank you
we
very
need to
much.
get some. Thank you, Danny. We need to get some. We need to get some drugs here next time because obviously this will help us in our future, but not
Lubricant.
No.
the Bill Cosby kind.
No.
Not the Bill Cosby kind. Okay, everybody. See you next week. Thanks a lot for listening.